It's something we all try not to talk about, but we all know someone who has suffered because of it.
In the beginning, it was really, great, just like most people's relationship starts out, it's just like really, really pleasant, go places, go out for dinner, maybe. It lasted for a while, and then after that, it just started to go south.
Jennifer's relationship lasted 5 years. She doesn't even remember the moment when she began to fear her partner.
I guess, when the arguments started to happen over basically nothing, so it seemed to be nothing to me, but in reality, I guess it was about lack of money.
Fact: half of all women in Canada have experienced at least one incidence of physical or sexual violence since the age of 16. But abuse is not just physical or sexual.
It could be any number of elements: emotional, psychological, spiritual, financial, physical, sexual, or it could be all of them. And what happens is he wears down her self-esteem, her confidence. You're so stupid, who wants you? You're ugly, you're not going to go anywhere, nobody's going to believe you. She internalizes that and she starts believing it.
And the last time, it was actually the worst time ever that I got. Screaming and yelling at me, arguing in the kitchen. He pushed me down on the futon couch that I had, or whatever, and then just like jumped onto my back and just like pummeling me. It was either with his fists into either side of my spine or it was his knee. And so I'm like, at that point, I realized, you know what, I gotta find a way out.
On average in Canada, one woman is killed every 6 days by an intimate partner. So why don't women just leave?
People are embarrassed to acknowledge that they are in this relationship and being hurt in it and not being able to get out of it. She has every right to be afraid because statistically, women who leave an abusive relationship are at much greater risk of being significantly injured or killed.
Fact: the most dangerous time for an abused woman is when she attempts to leave her abuser. In one study, half of the murdered women had been killed within 2 months of leaving the relationship. So leaving an abusive relationship is a giant leap of faith, an act of courage.
I can't believe I've come so far, but yet it's still there. But it's hidden. I buried it, and I just locked myself away, and I kind of continue still to do that, even though I don't want to.
Violence against women is a taboo issue, yet it's estimated to cost us $4.2 billion every year in Canada. Why then are so much of our tax dollars being poured into a bloated correctional system? Why are there not more resources being put toward prevention, education, and rehabilitation for the women made vulnerable at the hands of their aggressors? The need is great, and the fallout from ignoring it, even greater. Lives are at stake, and the problem of domestic abuse can no longer stay a dirty secret.